Hi everyone, I am back with our prop tutorials here at Own Body. So we encourage you to use props and tools here at the studio. It can support you in your practice, help you to make a posture a little bit more accessible to you, or to deepen or advance the posture as you're moving along in your practice. And the tool that I want to talk about now is our blanket. Okay, so not just any blanket, it's a firm blanket that can be folded in a specific way. All right, another tutorial for that. But we have a yoga blanket that's folded so that we can unfold and refold it in certain orientations to get into postures a little more seamlessly or to support ourselves properly. All right, so the first way, and probably the way that you've seen the blanket most used, is underneath your seat to prop the hips up for when we're seated in seated postures or in meditation, all right? So if I'm sitting, most of us, 95% of us, when we're sitting on the ground, we have tight hip flexors and our knees are up into our armpits, right? And this causes us to work really hard to sit up, but it also causes us to round and to tax and strain the low back over time. So you might not feel this the first few times you practice, but over time, that repetitiveness will get to you, all right? So why not make ourselves more comfortable so that we can access the purpose of the postures or the purpose of the meditation more easily? So you can see here, without the blanket, my back is more likely to be rounded, and again, I might have the knees up into the armpits. But if I take a blanket or two blankets or even a bolster, and I place that blanket underneath my seat, you can see that my knees go below my hips, all right, which allows that natural curve of the spine, of the low back, and allows my spine to align itself more naturally so I don't have to work so hard to sit here, all right? And I can move from here and do, several different postures, forward folding with a long back, twisting with a long spine, etc. So propping up the seat with a blanket or two, all right, very important, and I'd recommend probably 95 to 100% of people, including myself, to use that. We can also use the blanket, a second idea for using the blanket is again for support, just like we might use our blocks, for support underneath the body. So whether we unfold our blanket to create a thin cushion for when we lay down onto our backs for Shavasana, to align the head with the rest of the spine, using the blanket here as a prop, okay? Or whether we roll up our blanket, again, this one, again, laying down underneath our knees as we lay down on the back, again, to give ourselves a little more support for the back to feel a little more comfortable here, all right? So using the blanket for support underneath the hips or underneath the body to help feel more aligned, stable, and at ease in a posture. The last way, which is my favorite way to use a blanket, is for thermoregulation. So to regulate the temperature in the body, especially during Shavasana or final relaxation, okay? So the nervous system likes to be a comfortable temperature, and it's really hard to relax in that final reclined posture if we're feeling too cold or too warm, all right? And we're in kind of the change of seasons now when I'm recording this, and so that could change from day to day and life stage to life stage, right? So we can use this blanket to place over the body to regulate our temperature. So when we're laying down, we can simply place the blanket over the hips, okay, to feel a sense of grounding as well as retaining the heat from our practice, all right? As my head is cut off in the video. No worries. All right, so again, just a little bit of weight on the body can be very soothing, and then a little bit of retention of heat if we're feeling chilly. Now, if the whole body is feeling cold, my hands and feet tend to be cold all the time, then I encourage you in class to be bold, all right, and unfold this blanket and snuggle yourself in, all right? Your body will thank you for this. All right, again, that kind of swaddling of the body here, tucking in the toes, tucking in the hands, And taking, my body already wants a deep sigh out here. Just enjoying that feeling of support and ease for the body, retaining that warmth that you have cultivated in your practice so it can nourish your body rather than be released into the ethers after you've worked so hard to build that warmth and that nourishment. All right? So I would love to stay here forever. I'm going to roll over and come back up. So 3 ways, again, that we can use our blankets as a tool in our practice to help us in seated postures so that we can keep a long and supported low back, okay? To place underneath the body, and for an example, behind the head or underneath the knees in reclining postures. And then finally, to regulate our temperature, especially in Shavasana, which is meant to be a nervous system soother and rejuvenator, all right? So with that, grab a firm blanket when you come back to Om Body, all right, and use it well. We'll see you in the next tutorial.